Welcome back to the garden. As you can see, I say we, but really it was all my boyfriend. He put up this entire fence in like a day. I wanted to take you around because there's a lot of new growth that's happening. Now, as you can probably tell, our bean plants are kind of dying off, and we picked quite a few beans. They were very long. The longest one was, I believe, 25.5 inches. The plants are kind of starting to die off because they feel like they've done what they have to reproduce. And we left a few on that were not so close to maturity. And you might be able to tell, but it's been really rainy. So that's why we picked the beans that we did. Instead of leaving them on to mature fully and dry on the vine, we're drying them in the house instead, and then just leaving these on to see what happens. He also planted a few more squash down here, and our zucchini plant is really doing wonderfully. There's quite a lot of zucchinis growing here, and there's some growing over here. A couple butternut squash growing right here as well. Now, these are a few watermelon plants that we planted, he planted right along this new fence here. And the plan is to let them trellis up the fence, so this fence is kind of dual purpose. And I need to plant some more watermelons, in fact. Right here, I've got a pomegranate tree that he just put in the ground recently. And I'm just kind of making sure that it's not buried too deep. And then have a look at our corn stalks. They're doing good, and so are the beans. Now I just have to show you this mango tree. It's a Glen mango, and we put it in the ground, he did, not too long ago. And just take a look at all the new growth. And there's a little moth on there too. This one particular moth really loves to hang out here. All of this red is new growth. So from right here, it's all new, and it hasn't even been in the ground that long. I think it was just so happy to get out of that pot that it was in and spread its roots. Our avocado tree is also doing wonderfully, and now it's got plenty of new growth too. And it seems as though something is kind of nibbling on the leaves, but apparently the leaves are toxic, so I think they're leaving it alone for the most part, which is good. And have a look at this little sunflower down here. I gotta show you all of the sunflowers because I'm just so happy at how they're turning out. And this little one down here too. They're both, in fact, all of the ones in the garden are mammoth sunflowers. So they're gonna get huge, of course, as the name suggests. In fact, I think they're even called giant mammoth sunflowers. And there's a bean here hanging down, which is so nice. I'm kind of considering the next time we grow beans, picking off the sooner ones just a little bit early, because I don't know if I mentioned this before, but red noodle beans, people love to eat them when they're like this size or maybe even a little bit smaller. And they like to stir fry them and eat them as if they are, I don't even know what it's called, but beans you eat with the shell on. But when they get to be this size, the pods get kind of tough, and so it's not as enjoyable to eat. So I want shelling beans, which means you take off the pod when it's completely dried out, and you save the beans and you dry them out a little more for storage, and then you can boil them when you want to eat them and put them in soups or whatever you eat beans with. The reason that these are yellowing and dying off is because I waited for the beans that are down here. I waited until they were basically mature. So the plant thinks it's done its job already and it'll just die off because it'll have created offspring. So some of the beans are still kind of green and the others are just towards the end of their life cycle, but I kind of like the beans that hang down halfway across the trellis, and I would just like to have more of that. So I think what I'm going to do with the next beans, because you can just continually plant beans right here, in the climate that I have. It's only like, what is it? It's only May, so we have plenty of time to plant beans. So the next time, I think I will plant them and take the smaller ones off of the bottom because I can stand to eat a few, and oh, there's wild ducks going by, and let them get longer so that these ones will be doing this and it'll still go down all the way to the other side. And now look at this sunflower, and then these are a couple more watermelon plants we're gonna be trellising up the fence. This sunflower is probably one of the first we've planted, and then have a look at this beauty. This is the biggest one. It is just incredible. Its stalk is really thick too, which I feel like can only be a good sign. Alrighty, a little update on the strawberries that I planted that are a different variety than the normal patch that are, oh, fucking A. Two of them died off, but the other ones are doing great. This one has already started to flower and produce small fruits, and because it is bigger than 6 inches, which is about this big for me, I'm going to let it fruit and just kind of get the first sour ones out of the way, and I think the fruit can handle it now, which is so exciting because we planted them not even 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. Our carrot patch is doing very well. This one in the back here is the biggest, and it did get hit, I think because, I don't know, maybe it wasn't watered one day, so it's still kind of recovering, but it's still alive, so I have faith. We don't want it for the leaves anyway. I've been putting bags on the strawberries, the fruit, and that seems to be doing wonders. I read up on people's best ways that they protect from birds and other animals from eating their strawberries right before they're ready. I've been using just these organic cotton bags and mesh bags that I bought to be grocery bags, in fact, but they have a new purpose, and I actually have to buy some more too because they're just so useful. This strawberry right here is almost ready. The other side is just a little bit white still, so I'm gonna give it one more day because I've been picking them a little bit early because I just can't wait. They're too good. But I'm at the point now where they're fruiting a lot more, so I'd say every other day we have 1 to 3 strawberries to eat. And I have about 20 strawberry plants that are going right now. Not all of them are flowering yet. They're not quite at that stage, but I'm just ending up wanting too many strawberries. So I'm actually looking online today, and I'm thinking of picking up another variety. This variety is a June-bearing variety, and then this variety here, this new one, is Seascape, and it should be a day-neutral, ever-bearing variety. You think I should explain? The ever-bearing, or the, a bug. The June-bearing strawberries are meant to bear in June, but they are bearing just fine now in May, definitely in April. They were bearing, and they've been trying to bear for a long time, but I've been picking off the buds until they get about 6 inches in diameter. Day neutral is a type of ever-bearing strawberry. So that means the general ever-bearing produces 2 or 3 batches of strawberries every year, and the June is supposed to do it once a year. So the day neutral is a type of ever-bearing that it doesn't matter so much the day length, it will just produce. So ideally these will just kind of produce most of the year. Hopefully all year, that would be my dream. But they apparently give out smaller yields than the June bearing. But that's okay with me as long as I have strawberries to eat. Our Yukon Gold potatoes are doing well. This big one here is starting to bloom, which is so exciting. I just looked up what potato flowers look like the other day, and they're just beautiful. And so we're giving it more fertilizer. When potatoes start to bloom, it's good to start up on the fertilizer, and then you wait until the blooms die off or turn into potato berries. If you have multiple varieties, like cross-pollinating, it's likely you'll get potato berries. Oh God, I guess I should explain what that is. Which are like poisonous. You shouldn't eat them. It's slightly toxic. But they hold the seeds of potatoes. But the thing with potato berries, and why we plant potatoes from an actual potato, you just wait for it to sprout, like if you leave it too long in your kitchen, and then you put it under the ground, is because that will create an exact clone of whatever potato it is. So we put literally potatoes, Yukon Golds, in the ground, and they'll make more Yukon Golds. But if you use the potato berry and grow the potato from seed, it's definitely not guaranteed you'd get Yukon Golds. You'd get something, and that's why there's so many varieties of potatoes. I mean, hypothetically, it could be endless. But you wait until the flowers turn into berries or just die off, and you wait until after it starts yellowing and dying, and then when it dies, and then you still keep waiting if you want to be able to store them, which you probably do, a couple more weeks, like 2 to 3 more weeks before you dig it up so that the skins kind of finish off. And this is after the plant has died and fallen over. So we have a ways to go, but they're like kind of halfway there, I feel like. With the combination of these bean leaves turning yellow and our mango in the back from the distance kind of looking like fall colors, it really does feel like fall in the garden, which is so nice because we don't really get that here. As always, thank you for coming with me to the garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Jeez Louise.
Oh no, these are the longest ones right here. Oh, no.